It's surgery day! So, it still hasn't sunk in yet. I had a good sleep last night, but it feels like we're on holiday right now because we got to the hotel, we got to the hospital, we got our bags out the car. Artie did the biggest poo, so I said, let's change him in the boot just in case the first part of the hospital we're going into doesn't have facilities and we have to wait a while. Luckily we did, because we got in, they called us up to the counter, so I like paid my excess, did all that, and I'm definitely like seeing the worth of having private health right now, because like my surgery is like $8,500 and then my hospital stay itself was $6.5 grand, and obviously I only paid $500 out of pocket for that part, so definitely like worth its weight in gold. And I think, touch wood, I have my own room, because she specifically said someone is getting discharged at the moment. What's the time? Yeah, it's 8:30. She said we should have a room for you in about an hour and a half. So she's like, go for a walk, get some fresh air, like chill out, we'll call you when your room's ready. And I was like, it's like I'm checking into a hotel. Anyway, so we've come over to Little Hudson's Cafe, and I actually didn't take too much notice the other day when I was here of what it was like, but I'm sitting at this table, Jake's gone to the loo, I'm just getting Artie to sleep in the pram, but this is my view. Like, it literally looks like we're sitting at a hotel with like the curtains open waiting. So yeah, it still hasn't sunk in yet. I saw my surgeon walk in as I got here. So I was obviously saying yesterday about how the hospital called me just to like make sure I was ready to go, and they said we'll see you at 11, and I was like, oh no, my paperwork says 8, and they said, oh, our paperwork says 11, but call your surgeon because it's up to him. So I called and they said, no, he definitely wants you there for 8, just in case you go in earlier or whatever, like just to be on the safe side. And the lady was just like, oh, she's like, it's so frustrating when they do that and they don't tell us that they've changed it. I'm like, my surgery was booked 8 weeks ago and it's been the same since then. So I don't know if there was just a miscommunication. But then the paperwork I was signing, my admission time said 6 AM and I was like, so anyway, I'm here, I'm checked in. I've paid my excess, we're all good to go. My phone is playing some rainwater for Artie so he has a nap. And he's almost asleep, he's so good. But this, I said to Jake, this is the earliest he's ever been awake and out of the house. Like we left home at 7 o'clock on the dot. So he was up at 6:30, had a bottle. So again, like you've just got to be flexible in this sort of situation as well, because he sticks to a 4-hour schedule of like wake up, have a bottle, stay awake for an hour and a half, have an hour or so nap, and then the cycle keeps going. So I said there's no difference. He naps in his pram, which is great, so we just have to keep that going. So yeah, it's just nice to have them here for a couple of hours with me at least. And then I said to Jake, once we get up into my room, once he's due for his next feed, I was like, feed him and then you guys can head off and leave me be. And I've got so much Netflix and Stan to catch up on. I've got a book to read. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. So I just can't believe that it's finally here. I was like, posted on my Instagram story this morning that I felt like a dog heading off to be desexed, because for 2 days I've been on clear fluids and I'm actually fine. Like last night I was wrecked, but like I feel okay in general. And it's really funny because this morning was the first time my stomach was like hangry, like full blown rumbling, and I was like, oh my god. And I was like, is this my stomach talking to me? Like, does it know that it's about to get abolished from my body? And then I was like, is this how dogs feel going to get desexed? Anyway, a little bit of humor, keeping the tone light. I wish I could sit and have a coffee right now. That would have been great. That's probably the first thing I'm so excited to have after is a coffee. Excuse me. Alright, well Artie's asleep, so I'm gonna check in. He's asleep, but I just crushed him into the couch. yeah, I'm gonna get my iPad all set up, connect to the Wi-Fi and do all that, and I'll see you guys when we get to our room. I'm in my room! So, I don't even know what the time is actually. Okay, it's 10:30, so we've been here for 2.5 hours. The boys left about half an hour ago. I had a cry, I was upset, but I'm fine now, I'm all good. So I'm in a shared room, so there's one other bed, but they just came in and said they're not putting anyone else in there, so I basically have my own room, which is what I paid for, so that's nice. They said there is a chance that I could wake up and be in a different room and they'll just move all my stuff, so don't unpack too much. This is my view. Other than that, the lighting, need to stand in front of the window. Oh, the lighting here is great though. Yeah, so I'm gonna go to the loo and sit down and watch some Netflix and wait until someone comes and talks to me. I've got my gown on. I have a friend next door to me now. She's a young girl. She's nice. So I'm kind of like, I can't really like vlog out in my thing with my camera. But I just had to take some tablets. I think it's like anti-nausea before I go in. Got my socks on. And as ready as I'll ever be. So I don't know if I'll get to see you before again or after, but I'll see you when I see you. Hello everyone! Oh my gosh. It's so weird to say that I did it and I'm post-op. I can't even remember when I picked my camera up last. I think it must have been just after I got changed yesterday and I wasn't sure how long until I would go in. So I've put some things up on my Instagram, but this is the first time picking up my camera. So I did it. I was horrible waking up from the anesthesia, like I was so sick. But I've been up and down since midnight, walking around, walk, sip, breathe, walk, sip, breathe. And I've just had my first like warm liquid, so that's really nice. And my mum is on her way to pick me up and I'm allowed to go home. I can't wait to go and see my boys. I'm so excited. I'll obviously touch base a little bit more in the next couple of days, but I just wanted to check in while I'm still at the hospital and let you know that I am okay and I did it. And there's nothing to be scared of if you're going to go through this too. I promise you that. Anyway, thank you so much for your support this far. I love you guys so much. Good morning. Oh my gosh, it feels so weird to be home and vlogging again. So it's actually Friday. So I had surgery Tuesday. What was it, Thursday, Friday? So I'm 3 days post-op today, which is crazy. Oh, I like to say it's been like a bit of a wild ride, but it's not actually been too bad. Other than like when my painkillers wear off and my anti-nausea tablets wear off and I start to feel a bit like ugh, and just really tight. Like I actually wouldn't know that I had my stomach hurt. So these are my incision sites today. You can see I've got some lovely bruising going on. Got some lovely bruising on my arms from all my cannulas and blood tests. It's actually really gone down today. This was really bad yesterday. This one's not too bad. I think my veins collapsed a little bit, which same arm as when I had the Caesar, the same thing happened. So they had to redo them into the other arm. So my plan is tomorrow to actually sit down and have a chat in depth from like when I got to the hospital, how my experience went to when I was leaving. But I just wanted to check in and say hello, that I'm doing okay. I'm still so shocked that we're actually at this point. Like even yesterday when my mum was leaving to go home, she's like, I can't believe it's the 3rd of February already. I was like, I can't believe I've had surgery already. Like I don't know, it just feels so surreal, like how quickly time goes. Like soon I'll be 1 month post-op and I won't even know myself. So anyway, having fluids is like, it's so hard because in hospital, for me to be able to be signed off to go home the next day, I had to have 150ml glass of any fluid, so apple juice, water, black coffee, or jelly mixed with water. I just had to have 4 glasses over 4 hours so I could go home. Touch wood, I've been really good. I was only really nauseous coming off the anesthetic, like I was really sick. That's really all I can remember is just throwing up heaps. But I've been able to hold fluids down. The anti-nausea meds are like really helpful. I actually didn't think that I'd have to be on like that sort of stuff, but obviously my body doesn't like anesthetics, so that's fine. Yesterday I think my first night at home was okay, but I woke up about 5:15. Ooh. I woke up about 5:15 in the morning. Mum and I like made a coffee and I sat down. I think I probably had like, so this is a little glass. It's only like, I think it's probably still 250 mils, but it's just like a little coffee cup compared to the rest of the ones I have. So I've been doing like a coffee pod topped up with cold water and then like a splash of almond milk and then some ice cubes just to like cool it down a bit. So I only had maybe like this much of it yesterday, and I just keep sipping water throughout the whole day as well. I didn't finish my litre bottle yesterday, but on top of whatever I drank out of my bottle, I had like 200 mils of bone broth over the day, I reckon. And then I had like, they said you can just use like stock cubes in hot water to make like a broth kind of thing. So I had like the 2-minute noodle sachets, like the chicken flavoring. I just put like half of that in a glass with hot water, and that was actually nice. Same thing though, like didn't drink it all. I put some jelly in some water, had some of that, didn't drink it all. I'm waiting for my tasteless protein to arrive, because once that arrives, that's going to be easier, because then I can put like, you know, spoons of that in all of my beverages, and at least I'm getting some protein. Actually, yesterday I managed to have half an Optifast shake as well, so it was pretty good considering. So today, yeah, my goal is to make sure I'm making like a different beverage at least every second hour on top of the water that I'm sipping, because I guess that's like the biggest thing, is keeping your fluids up, because most people will end up back in hospital due to dehydration, and I don't want to do that, obviously. So yeah, so at 7 o'clock we're all up. Artie's had a feed. He's very chatty. Like, I can't believe being away from him for like less than 2 days, how much he's changed. So he's had a bottle. We've got his 4-month immunisations at 9:45 this morning, so figured get him up, have a bottle, have a play, he can have a nap, and then when he wakes up, we'll go have his needles. Go have his needles. And then hopefully it's not too bad, but at least either way, Jake's home. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and try and drink my coffee and have some water. So I'm on medication for 3 months every morning, and I believe it's for like reflux and esophageal acidity, just so you don't like ruin your esophagus from having like reflux, which I don't know if I've had or if I will. Not everyone gets it, but they put you on that for the first 3 months just to be safe. And then I have tapentadol once every 4 hours. Like, you can have 2 every 4 hours depending on how your pain is. I've only been taking 1 at a time, and not on the 4-hour mark, like sometimes 6 or 7 or 8 hours, just when I feel like I need it. And then I have the anti-nausea meds, which I just dissolve on my tongue, and that's 3 times a day, so every 8 hours. So I'm about to take that now as well. And normally I start to feel a bit better after I've done that, but I don't feel as drunk as I did yesterday when I woke up. It was just at like 3:30 this morning I woke up, and I actually had to wake Jake up to get me up out of bed because my chest was so sore. Like, I literally felt like I'd broken a rib. So I think because all the anesthetic's wearing off, all the bruising's coming out, and you know, God knows what they're doing there. I can't wait to share my experience with you about me going under and all the rest of it, because it's a bit funny. But anyway, yeah, burping and farting is a massive bonus at the moment. It's like instant relief. So now I feel like I am on Arthur's level where I get applauded for burping and farting. Anyway, well, I hope you all have a fab Friday, and I look forward to sitting down and chatting with you tomorrow or Sunday, and I'm hopefully putting this video up on Monday or Tuesday to mark 1 week post-op. Yay! Alright, bye. Hello! Oh my goodness, it's been a hot minute. I honestly can't even tell you. I don't even know when I sat here and vlogged last. I think it might have been the day after I got home from hospital. I think that was it. But that's just a depiction of how do I say this politely, fucked my recovery has been so far. Okay, well, first things first, we should go back to surgery day, because that would have been the last time I'm pretty sure I spoke to you the day after surgery at the hospital before I was coming home. And then, yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure I checked in to say that I was home and that I was okay and that I would check in again soon. And today is Tuesday, 1 week post-op. So let's chat about my surgery first and how that all went. So I guess you would have seen everything up to, like, I checked into my room and all the rest of it. I pretty much sat and watched Netflix for hours. Like, I don't think I got taken down for surgery until about, I think maybe just before 2 they came and started getting me ready, and I got dressed and I checked in the bathroom with this camera. I remember that. But yeah, so by the time I got taken down, it was probably 2 o'clock. So you get taken down to this little holding bay and they give you warm blankets, and it's actually really cozy. But as I got wheeled into there and got pushed in backwards, I'm pretty sure I started crying. Like, I started, but then I pulled myself together and I was like, no, you're okay, stop being a little bitch. So yeah, I pulled myself together, and it was annoying because the second that they walked in and they're like, all right, we're taking you down now, I messaged Jake and my mum and said, they're taking me down now. And I had said to them originally, don't leave for the hospital as soon as I tell you they're taking me down, because I don't know what that process involves. I don't know how long between once they actually leave, like once we actually leave our room, like where we go, how long it takes, like all the rest of it. So they actually give you a little app from the hospital and you can follow the link. And I think that's what they did, but it just wasn't very accurate and it didn't work as well as we sort of expected. So I think they just got a bit nervous that they were going to miss being there when I woke up, that's all I wanted. Like, I did the whole thing by myself, but I wanted someone to be there when I woke up just in case. So anyway, messaged them and said I was going down. So then I went down, and it was probably an hour and a half before I actually got physically taken in for surgery. But during that hour and a half, like the admin nurse down there, like, she was really nice, bit weird, but she was lovely, like, just talking to me about tattoos and random stuff. She kept giving me warm blankets like every half an hour because they obviously get cold. It was really cold down there. And then the girl that was in the bed next to me in my room, so I wasn't supposed to have someone, but then I ended up having someone because she got there and her room wasn't ready, and that was fine. She was a young girl. So she ended up being brought down as well, and she was like, oh my God, you're still here. I was like, yeah. So anyway, hour and a half I was in holding. During that hour and a half, the anaesthetist came in and seen me. You know, he was like, any questions, blah, blah. And I just said, just please don't kill me. Like, I literally was just so scared because I'd never been under GA before. I was like, just please don't kill me. I said, I think the only thing I'm really scared about is that I'm going to be able to, like, hear and feel everything that's happening, but you're not going to know that I'm awake. And he was like, honey, trust me, I will know. And I was like, all right, my life's in your hands. So anyway, he tried, like, all of my bruises and stuff are starting to like clear up. So I'm glad, because I looked like the biggest junkie the other day. So he tried to get a cannula in my left arm, which my veins are normally always really good. My veins had collapsed. I was obviously dehydrated, so that didn't work. So he moved to my right arm, and that was fine. It went in, that was all perfect. I only had a little bit of redness and swelling there for a day or two. So he got that in. He actually put like a little bit of local in first for a few seconds too. So that was really nice, because I didn't expect that. Not like when I had my friggin' Caesar and they like pierced my whole hand and it was the worst pain ever. But yeah, so he did that, and he was like, all right, well, I'll see you soon. And then I think about 3:10, my surgeon came down, and he's like, thank you so much for waiting. He's like, I'm so sorry. He goes, there's so many surgeries today. And I was like, you okay though? Like, you're all good? You're not too tired? And he was like, nah. He's like, this is halfway through my day for me. So anyway, just basically went over what he wants me to do through my recovery again. He's like, breathe, sip, walk, breathe, sip, walk. And I was like, yep, cool. And he's like, all right, well, I'll see you in there. Well, you won't see me because you'll be asleep, but I'll see you in there. And I was like, okay. So then anyway, eventually they came and started taking me down through the hallways to where the OR was. And at this stage, I think another man had got brought into holding, and he got wheeled into like a little bay, and there was a little like thing that they, with numbers on it, that they put up behind the head of your bed. So I wouldn't have seen it because I got wheeled in and like straight into the first bay, and that had your OR room on it. And I didn't know the whole time until I was getting wheeled to the OR and then seen my OR room number was number 4. So, oh my gosh, am I getting eaten by mozzies out here? So I got wheeled into OR 4, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. Like I instantly felt better. I was in OR 4 at Joondalup Private when I had Arthur. Number 4 is my birthday. Arthur was born just after 4 p.m. and I just knew it's like something that I relate to. If the number 4 is right there for me, it's like, yeah, my nana's with me, she's got me. But yeah, so that was kind of a bit of a bittersweet moment, and I think I just relaxed at that point. So then I got wheeled into the actual theatre room, and they obviously get me to like climb across onto the little bed that's like this skinny, and I was like, am I gonna like fold over the sides? So got onto the bed. The anaesthetist just started talking to me, and because they couldn't get the cannula in this arm, but they normally have it set up for the left, they had to put another board up for the right. So I was laying there literally like Jesus, not trying to be blasphemous, but I was just like laying there going, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And then he goes, I just saw him walk over with like a syringe, not a needle syringe, but just like a syringe full of like brown liquid. And he just goes, so I'm like laying, and he's sort of like here facing that way, about to inject into my IV. And he just goes, all right, he's like, this is the first part of the good shit. And then that was it. I woke up in recovery. So I'm assuming that that's the stuff that they give you to start bringing you down. And then if you don't fall asleep straight away from that, they give you the gas and they do the whole count back thing. But that was all I remember. So that was literally it. I don't remember being in recovery. So I left my room at 2 o'clock and my return to ward time was 5:30. So considering the fact that I didn't get taken down until 3:30, and then I don't know like how long I was in recovery for, you know, before I got taken back to my room, I could hear everything that was happening. I was trying to open my eyes, I was shaking profusely, and I just kept hearing this lady nurse going, you're doing really well, you're doing really well. She's like, I just want you to try and think about how you would feel if you were going to sleep. Like, you're awake now, you're out of anesthetics, like you're on the ward, you made it, you're okay. She goes, but I just want you to just go to sleep. Just ride the wave and go to sleep. She goes, you're okay. And I was just like I was shaking so bad. Even as I was going to sleep on the table, I was shaking really bad. And I just remember the anaesthetist being like, oh, we blow warm air on you like while you're under as well, so don't worry about that. And yeah, here's the first part of the good shit, and that was it. So anyway, I remember that in recovery. So I can't remember what the recovery room looked like. I didn't get to open my eyes. I was back in my room. As I got wheeled into my room, so I had the oxygen mask on and I was asleep, obviously. As I got wheeled into my room, I heard Arthur make a noise, and I think that was it for me. I was just like, I'm safe, I've made it. My mum was there and Jacob was there, and I didn't know at this point that they pretty much, as I messaged to say I'm being taken down, actually I can probably see what time I messaged them. So at 2:01 on the dot, I messaged Jacob and said, I'm going in now, love you guys so much, see you soon. So 2 o'clock to 5:30 is 3.5 hours. Yeah, 3.5 hours. So that was down in holding for an hour and a half, surgery, recovery, back to my room at 5:30. So he said once he got that message, I think they said Arthur was asleep and he was due to wake up. So they like packed his little bag and everything and got everything ready. And pretty much as he woke up, they loaded him into the car and they left. So they probably would have left and been at the hospital by about 3 o'clock. So they waited for 2.5 hours, the poor things. They said Arthur was good. He like had his awake time. Then he'd like nap in the pram for half an hour, awake again, nap in the pram. And then so that's what I remember was I knew that they were there. I knew that I was safe, but I could hear Arthur like losing it. Like he was out of control. And I was trying to say like, please just take him home. Like I know I'm safe now. I know you guys are here. Like, thank you, but please just take him home. And I remember my mum standing there holding my hand and she kept saying like, are you okay, my girl? Are you okay? And I was just like, oh. Trying to say like, and I could see what I wanted to say in my head, but I couldn't move and I couldn't get the words out. And then I started to become really sick. And so that's when I think my mum or Jacob must have said, I think we need to go, we're going to go. And I was like, yes, please. I was like, just go. So they left. And then, so that was at like 5:45. The next 5 hours was the scariest part of anything I've ever been through. Because I've never been under anesthetic before. I've never had to wake up from it. I just like, I didn't know what to expect. I threw up a lot, lots of blood. It was really, I can still remember the taste in my mouth. Yeah, so I threw up a lot and was just like crying because it was just horrible. The poor girl had next to me had been brought back in from her surgery. She was throwing up as well. And I just think that like our nurses must have been like, what the fuck? Like us two just took it really bad. And then all of a sudden I just remember like opening my eyes and I was like, it's not a dream. I'm awake. Wow, I can actually open my eyes. And I was like looking around. And then I just pressed the nurse buzzer and they came in and they're like, oh my gosh, you're awake. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I think I want to get up and go to the toilet. And they were just so shocked because I'd gone from being like half dead for the last 5 hours. I do remember this one specific nurse coming in every now and again going, Hayley, do you want to get up and go for a walk and have some water? And I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm literally like, I can't even open my eyes. So I think they just keep trying to like wake you up. But yeah, 10:15 I think it was, I finally woke up. So that was like almost 5 solid hours from the time I got to my room. So however long I was in recovery until 10:15 at night was how long it took me to wake up. I remember waking up and I was like, okay, I don't feel too bad. Oh, no catheter. And I was like, this is great. So I just pressed the nurse bell and then, yeah, like my beautiful nurse came in, introduced herself. And then she goes, oh, we're just about to do, oh, actually, no, it was a guy. It was this really beautiful, like young Asian guy, but he was like, spoke like proper, he just sounded Aussie, but he was so lovely. He goes, congratulations, you made it. He's like, how do you feel? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I still don't know if I'm actually alive. And then he's like, all right, well, he goes, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't have a catheter. He's like, no. I was like, can I get up and go wee? He's like, yeah, of course. So he's like unhooking everything, take my oxygen off, and he goes, you have to stay on the trolley though because of your IV. I said, yeah, that's fine. So they pushed, I think, almost 2 liters through from, well, I don't know. I mean, whatever, I got back into recovery until like 8 o'clock the next morning when they finally disconnected it. So that was good. That's probably why I didn't feel so shit. You know, he basically ran me through what the night was going to look like. He said, if you want to get up, you press the buzzer, I'll come and detach you, you get up and go for a walk. If you need anything, let me know, we'll come see you. He goes, here's your little cups of water. You know, just start by having little sips, but eventually we want you to be having at least 60 mils per hour during the night. Obviously, if you're asleep, it's fine. I was so uncomfortable, I do remember that. So that was really hard because I was just like, how am I supposed to sleep? Like my chest, like right here under my boobs just felt so heavy and so squashed. And actually, funnily enough, right now is the first time in the whole week that I've actually sat and just felt really normal right now. Like I don't feel like I've had surgery. I'm not sore, probably because I'm sitting down and I'm relaxed. If I start touching my stomach, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. But I don't feel sick. I've had, so this is like a little mini iced latte cup that I got yesterday, a decaf one. That's a whole story in itself. But anyway, so I got this yesterday, and so I think this whole thing is only, it's less than a cup. It's less than 250 mils. So yesterday I got it, I only drank that much, put it in the fridge, and then today I've had this much. I'll probably be able to finish this actually. And now you can't drink out of straws, as in like drink and scull out of the straw. You've got to like drink into your mouth and then swallow it. So anyway, so that was all good. I made it through the night. That was fine. Woke up in the morning, like I'd been on and off, like up and down. I think I got up at, so I had that little walk and a wee at 10, got back into bed. I got up at 12:30, had a little walk and a wee, woke up at 3:45, went for a nice little walk, had a wee, got back into bed and checked my phone. So that was the thing, is that like until 11 o'clock at night, literally no one had heard from me on my phone. So my phone had blown up. So I just wrote one message and said like, I made it, I'm alive, chat to you tomorrow. And I just sent it to everyone that had messaged me. Because that was the thing, was even though I was with it and I was okay and whatnot, I actually didn't have enough energy or strength to sit there and like hold my phone and type. Like I just couldn't, even still now sometimes I'm just like, I don't have the energy for it. But yeah, so woke up in the morning, about 5:30, 6 o'clock, went for a nice walk, did that. My new nurse came in about 7 and she basically was like, cool, so from 8 o'clock until 12 o'clock, we will not be discharging you until you drink 4 glasses of 150 mils of liquid over an hour. Yeah, so I had to have a glass per hour. So I would have 4 glasses over 4 hours. And in my head, I'm going, are you kidding me? I barely had 30 to 60 mils like per hour overnight. Like, how is that even going to happen? But anyway, I did it. I had apple juice for the first hour because they just bought me my breakfast, which was apple juice and jelly. So did that. Then she came in and was like, oh, do you want me to go mix some of that jelly with water, because then you can just sip it? I was like, yes, please, because I could not imagine having jelly right now. So I had the apple juice, and then I was like, that was a bit sweet for me. So then I was like, cool, the next hour I'll have water, and then I'll have the jelly, and then I'll have water for my last hour. But I think towards the end of the second hour, I started like having little sips of the jelly. So I'd had half of my water, half of the jelly, so that was basically 1 glass. So she ticked that off, so I'd had 2 by that stage. And then for the third hour I had to finish the water and the jelly, and then by that stage they bought me lunch, and they bought me like this beautiful little bowl of consomme, and it was basically just like 2-minute noodle water. Now I didn't know at the time that that's what was going to save my life for the next week. So I was like sipping that off a spoon. That was great. I had like 3/4 of that bowl, and then finished like the other half a cup of water that I had. So she was like, you are well and truly good to go home. My surgeon had already come and seen me. He was really happy with me. They let me have a shower. I felt so fresh, so great. And I was like, this is awesome. This is better than I could ever have imagined. So that was it. I got to go home. Got home. I was obviously like a little bit out of all sorts, because I was like, am I gonna sleep okay? Like I was really shitty in hospital. I don't know. So anyway, as the days have gone on, the first few days were okay. Like it was just like getting comfortable and, you know, making sure I was drinking my broth and having water. And I didn't really track how much I had those first few days, because I don't really know how much I had. It was just, if I was thirsty, I would drink, make sure that if I was awake, I was having little sips every now and again. Then I got to day 6. So Monday, yesterday. I got up out of bed. I woke up feeling amazing. I'd slept on both sides, which was so good. But when I got up and stood up out of bed and tried to get myself dressed, I felt really frail again. And I was like, this isn't right. And I had really horrible pains in the bottom part of my belly. And I was like, oh no, like I'd stopped taking the opioids a couple of nights ago. I'd started taking Coloxal because I knew that, like, you know, I know what post-surgery pooping is like. TMI, but whatever. Anyway, fast forward to 9 o'clock. So this has been like an hour back and forwards. I'd sat on the toilet, nothing. I'd been messaging my mum. I got in a really hot shower, basically at that point, I had to call out to Jake. I was crying. I literally thought I was in labor again. The pains were that bad. So he was like holding me in the shower. He was like all wet, the poor thing. And I was just like, I don't know what to do. So he called the hospital. The hospital said, you need to take her straight to the GP for OBS. If any of the OBS are out of whack, they'll send you to the hospital, but then also wait until after 9 and call your surgeon. So we did all that. They couldn't get us into the GP until 11:30. They did tell me to take my painkillers again. I didn't want to, but they made me. So I took another painkiller. That took the edge off, and then I was just spaced out for the next 2 hours. And I hated that. I was still in pain, but it took that initial edge off. Anyway, so then the appointment wasn't till 11:30. So by the time we got to the doctors, my painkillers had just started to wear off again. And I was just like, no, this is cooked. This is so shit. Seeing the doctor, he did the stethoscope around my stomach, said everything sounded fine. Got to my bowels and he sort of like looked at me and I was like, what? And he goes, you're like the fullest of full that your bowels can be. And I was like, well, yeah, I assumed that was a thing, but like, what do I do? And he goes, you're going to have to do enemas. I'll give you some liquid laxative. But basically, if I didn't empty my bowels by last night, I would have had to have gone to hospital today and got flushed out because it was that bad that they were like, post having surgery, I would obviously end up heading towards like sepsis. So it was a little bit scary. I really didn't feel well at all. So we walked from the front of the doctor's to the chemist. Whilst I went and ordered a coffee for me and Jake and just sat down, Jake went to the chemist and got the script. He came out of the chemist and I was like standing up, holding onto the table at the cafe, like, like deep breathing again. And someone was like, is she having a baby? No, and I just said to him, I can't walk back. You're going to have to get the car. So he walked back to the other side of the parking lot, got the car, came over. We got in the car. It's only like a 3-minute drive. He started drinking his coffee while we were driving and I literally was just like, you need to stop doing that. Everything hurts right now and that just sounds so shit. I said, please just stop. And he was like, okay. Anyway, so we got home. I grabbed my little bag of stuff and like waddled as fast as I could to the bedroom and I locked myself in there and I just sat there and cried and was like, what the fuck do I do? So I'm trying to ring Jodie because I know with her sickness she's had to do enemas and stuff before. She didn't answer, so then I'm trying to Google it. I'm trying to talk to my mum. I was just like, I don't know what's happening right now. Anyway, I'll spare you the details, but I figured it out. I did 2 of them because that's what he told me to do. So I had to basically like lay there and squeeze my butt together for like as long as I could hold it. I think I managed to hold it for like 8 minutes and then I like slowly got up, walked to the toilet, locked myself in the toilet and then was like, great, now the bedroom door's locked as well. If I need anything, Jake's not gonna be able to get in. But anyway, it was fine. I think I was in the toilet for like an hour because I was just so scared to move. So anyway, I emptied my bowels for the rest of the day. By the afternoon, I felt like a brand new woman. Like I just felt so good. I was like, yep, this is good. You know, I've done the hard parts now. So hopefully we can move on. Now, today my fluids was supposed to roll over to full fluids. So instead of just having clear broths and stuff, I could have like pumpkin soup, I could have yogurt, I can have like Wheat Bix as long as it's like with boiling water and then like put through a strainer. So it's almost just like Wheat Bix water with like a dash of almond milk, like that's fine. Up and goes, like that sort of textural stuff. So I woke up, I felt better. I actually got myself dressed this morning, did my hair, and I was like, oh, like hopefully this is it. We're out of the show, like woods. Like it's been a week now. So Nicole came to visit. She got here about 9 and I just said to Jacob while I was in the kitchen, like, oh, I got some sharp stabby pains today, but today it was like up here. And I was like, I don't know if it's just like healing pains or I'm not sure. Anyway, within an hour, she was like, I'm gonna leave because you look like shit and I think you need to go lay down. And I was like, I don't know. It's like, I kept getting up off my chair to like walk a bit and she's like, what are you doing? And I was just like, I don't know if like, I'd had like literally 1 sip of an up and go and tried to have a sip of apple juice, tried to sip my water and like, I just couldn't. I was in that much pain that I just couldn't have anything. So she left. I went and laid on the couch And within 10 minutes, I got up, was like hunched over trying to walk to the bedroom to get Jake. And I was like, it's happening again. I was like, something's not right. I was like, this is not right. And he's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I think my bowels aren't empty. I said, I think there's still stuff stuck in there. I don't know. I said, I'm in so much pain. And he's like, okay, well, go and do the things you did yesterday and we'll see if that makes a difference. And I was like, I'm so scared. Like, I was in so much pain. Like, the pain is just, it's crippling. And I have a huge pain threshold. So, like, that's saying something. So, anyway, I went and did the other 2 enemas. Went to the toilet. Still didn't feel that great. He got me a heat pack. I was like, okay, in my head, I was like, you need to fucking drink water. You need to get your fluids in because you're not getting enough in, and it's been a week and you should be having soup and everything today. So anyway, fast forward over the day, I had a heat pack, took some Panadol, slept for a couple of hours, woke up, still a little bit sore, but felt better. Since then, I've had 2 little bowls of soup. I've had that much of my coffee that I said. I've had about 400 mils of water, and I literally feel amazing right now. So I'm hoping that it's not a placebo and that I wake up tomorrow feeling even better. I just know that I have to keep my fluids up. And I'm the kind of person where I can go for hours without drinking water, even though I've got my bottle with me. And then I'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm thirsty. And I'll scull. Honey, there is no sculling anymore. So that's what's frustrating. I've just got to keep sipping as I go. So anyway, that's been week 1. Statistics wise, obviously I'm not fussed on the numbers because I've just had surgery. I've got a long road ahead of me, but from the first day of pre-op until today, I have lost 10.1 kilos. And from my surgery day until today, so a week, I've lost 4 kilos. So I know that it's different for everyone. Some people may have lost more, some people may have lost less. Again, my fluids have not been that high, so my body's obviously just eating every single little bit of fat trying to survive. But I'm going to try a spoonful of yogurt tonight and then have some more soup, and then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to stomach a little bit more as well. So anyway, I'm going to finish this vlog off here because that's like a week, you know, my first week post-op, including my surgery. And I've had such an influx of support from my new Instagram page, so thank you so much. And if you aren't following it or you missed it, it's VSG and me_Hayley. I'll leave it here. And I look forward to catching up with you guys and seeing what we look like next week. Yeah, anyway, I'll see you when I see you.